I remember being at Allen's Key at the top of the Exumas thinking of all the time we still had, our sailing adventure just beginning, and now at the end of our first season, that time had just flashed by. While we still had almost 2 months to sail up the US East Coast before hauling out and returning to Canada, our travel in the United States definitely felt like an epilogue.
Cheers. We did it.
We did it, guys.
On arrival to St. Augustine, we had a fantastic dinner at Harry's and thereafter indulged in all of the variety and abundance of foods in America. But it wasn't just the food. We appreciated more than ever how all of the conveniences, services, accessibility, and stock of pretty much everything you wanted was available to us at any time. Everything except the beauties of the islands and the waters where we lived for the past half year. Taking a break off the boat, we did a road trip to Myrtle Beach. I had intended to take more vacations in this way to prevent boat fatigue, but we never did end up leaving the boat much.
Yeah, we have people who give away tickets all the time. They'll come up and they'll play Flintstones for hours, split it up into a bunch of like slips with a few thousand on them, and just give them away to the little kids they run into.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
The visit to this tourist town to have a decidedly more plain holiday was oddly refreshing. Don't get me wrong, because the beach was great, but I think the Bahamas will have us forever spoiled.
And it's crowded here all the time. I don't really like having people so much around. So I would say Florida's kind of better.
Florida? What about Bahamas? How do you like that?
But I like it here because we get to stay in a hotel. I'll tell you which beaches are better, the Bahamas or United States. The Bahamas are really good with the nice clear water. They're also very calm. Here it's a lot more wavy. Bahamas is also, the water is very warm here, not as. So I think I like Florida a bit better because of the waves.
Florida?
Yeah, but Bahamas is a very close tie.
Do you like it here?
Yeah, and let's go.
Definitely a tourist town, but still a lot of fun things to do, a lot of good food. Kind of expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, like anywhere. There's definitely lots to do. Shows, restaurants, beach, boardwalk, just shopping, walking around, or just going to the beach.
Yeah.
And so it's been a fun weekend.
So we're having a beach day here.
Yeah, the kids just want to be on the beach today, so.
Because even though we're out of the Bahamas and we're beached out, we still miss the beach.
We still want to go to the beach.
We spent over a week in St. Augustine, sightseeing with our most enduring buddy boat, Anomaly.
Very famous St. Augustine Gates. Let's take a picture. We're in the oldest continuously inhabited city in the United States, St. Augustine. What other pictures have you gotten?
Donuts.
Big one. It's known as the Ghost Tower.
This one? Who told you that?
So there was a cat that somebody dropped all the way down the stairs.
Eventually, it came time for us to part way again. This was our haul-out destination, and as usual, we said, "See you later," instead of goodbye, hoping to reunite next season down in the Caribbean. Embarking on this journey, I couldn't help but hold certain preconceived notions about the people we would travel with. I expected them to mirror our own backgrounds and personalities, but was surprised to have met and befriended such a diverse set of individuals and families. They hailed from all different walks of life and stages in life and brought with them a multitude of experiences and stories. It didn't matter if their sailboat was used as a motorboat, the mainsail never raised, if the boat was shiny and new, old and uninsurable, or hurricane damaged and rebuilt. Sometimes it was a single-hander on his own, or it could be a single-hander with 3 children and a dog. Despite our apparent dissimilarities, the shared interest in exploring the world by boat transcended these differences. The sailing community is fantastic. Speaking of friends, as we hopped north to Brunswick, we had a nice surprise visit with Debbie, Cody, and the pups from Island Girl, who made a detour from the drive to Texas just to see us and spend an afternoon doing some sightseeing. The cruising issues did not stop as maintenance items continued to accumulate and we encountered our worst squall by far on the route overnight to Charleston. Trying to dodge and outrun weather on our 6-knot slow boat was an exercise in futility.
This is probably the craziest storm we've been in, and we happen to be moving. We're not even docked somewhere or anchored or anything like that. So hope for the best, I guess. Is it almost behind us?
Should come out the other side soon.
So during the worst of it, we resigned to motoring straight through, hoping to shorten the excitement. The wind, rain, and lightning. Oh, the continuous lightning was so intense that we thought we were in a movie.
Coming out the other side.
Okay, you see the light?
Oh, yeah. There, we can see the light again. Okay, almost through it. What's the wind?
It's 15 knots. Definitely climbed down. It was up to almost 40 knots at one point. This is what it looks like from the helm. You can see a little bit of sky peeking through. That's where the storm is, right behind us. We got through it. Look at that big red spot. So we're coming out the other side. I had to turn the boat around and go the other way, but the winds are dying down. We should be coming out of it pretty soon here.
Happy Seas proved to be resilient though, and we arrived none the worse for wear in Charleston the next morning. Another feather in the cap.
Overnight sail, everything. Check. Made it. Crazy storm.
Did you like the sail, Everett?
It wasn't bad.
How about Shannon?
It wasn't bad.
The biggest challenges we faced cruising had nothing to do with weather, repairs, or hazards of the seas, but was actually maintaining family relationships. I don't know why, but I had thought somehow that we'd be impervious to serious conflicts, and did not heed the warnings about living together in small spaces with little opportunity to escape from each other. All the while, our new house was constantly trying to break down in an environment unsettlingly vulnerable to the elements.
That little thing created that much trouble.
This area is not talked about much, and definitely not on the YouTube channels, but yes, it is very real and affects more cruising couples than we had thought, but should have expected. Charleston is a beautiful city, one we thought we could move to and be entirely content. They had fantastic military museums, and the family enjoyed not only the aircraft carrier Yorkton, but the kids loved the story of her sister ship, the Laffey Destroyer, battling kamikazes. What do you think of this place so far, Everett?
Pretty cool.
How's your day yesterday?
Great. I love seeing the battleships and their history. I like Yorkton because there's this big plane deck where jets will come in. And I like the history of Laffey with the kamikazes and the torpedoes. And that happens, it was on fire, but it still stayed afloat. I'm the captain now. Time to make myself home.
I really like this city. I think I could move here. It's really relaxed. Has some old historic characteristics. Lots of good shopping, lots of really good food, a pretty good vibe. Looks like they have a marina. They have Wednesday night sailing and racing.
Hey, maybe if you move here, you might do some sailing and racing.
Yeah, maybe I'll do the same thing. Wednesday nights racing here. You like to come, Everett?
While the children may have missed out on learning Canadian history, their time in Charleston, where the US Civil War began, provided them with a hands-on opportunity to delve into the captivating world of American history. As parents, we too found ourselves engrossed in the vivid narratives and characters of the Civil War, gaining fresh insights into the complexities of our neighboring country's history. Let's go visit Norfolk, guys.
All right, let's go.
Okay, yeah. We ventured forth to Norfolk, a city that proudly stands as the current headquarters of the US Navy and the world's largest naval station. Complementing our visit to the historic naval towns before, we were thrilled and awed to see the colossal warships of today resting in the same harbors as Happy Seas. Got your journal? What are you writing about?
Different types of cubes.
Excellent.
Mom told me to write 5 pages.
Sierra's doing her English. Orangey is watching, making sure Sierra is concentrating. No! The honeymoon phase is over, and it seems as if we're at the stage of boat ownership where anytime Happy Seas is moved, something ends up breaking. Repairs which you think would be dead simple and straightforward somehow turn out not to be. It's like a law of boating, that repairs always take 2 to 3 times longer than planned. So you see, this is the lazy jack, the line that keeps the sail bag open, and so it directs the sail into the bag to keep it nice and tidy so the sail doesn't flop over when it's lowered. Here on the port side, the lazy jack shaved through, and you can see it's been rigged up to keep the bag up. That will need to be replaced right down to here. I'll change that out. Here is the lazy jack sheet, and you think it'd be easy, but of course it's stuck. This came off up there, so it's stuck somewhere in the mast. How is that even possible? Okay, I got the code 0 down. Let's see if I can get that lazy jack line out now. Yes. And that was the easy part. We spent some time going through the list, which included going up the mast with a messenger to replace that lazy jack line, draining a leak we already knew about, and chasing down a new leak. What are you working on today?
My 4x4.
Everett's already mastered 3x3s. Sierra, where'd you go? What are you doing there? One of the projects that I'm gonna do today is to replace a leaking water pipe that goes to the water maker. Ready? Let's go! Everyone's so excited to do this. You can see drips tracing up to this. Okay, that did not seem to work. It seemed to make it worse. We pickled the water maker, troubleshooted high voltages, and took down the foresail in preparation for storage. By the time all this was done, we were definitely ready for some time away from the boat. Okay, got the jib down, folded up. Is that as easy as you thought?
Yeah. So today we are going to Washington, D.C., and we're gonna take a train.
Have you ridden a train before?
No.
What do you think it'll be like?
I think it's gonna be like Harry Potter. Like when you sit down and people come and ask if you want anything.
Okay, Sarah, what do you think riding a train will be like?
Cool.
Any other thoughts on the matter?
See if there's water on the train.
There's no water on the train.
Then how are you gonna survive?
Oh, yeah.
We're moving. And this train's pretty slow.
How are you guys liking the train ride? Happy Seas docked for almost 3 weeks while we awaited haul out, so we made the most of this time by taking the train up to Washington, D.C. Here's the White House, Canada Day, July 1st, 2023.
Happy Canada Day.
Don't forget it's Canada Day here in Washington, D.C. What better place to assuage my guilt of not schooling the kids enough? The Smithsonian museums were of course fantastic. A national gem free for anyone to visit, and we spent several days learning about everything from giant squid and mammoths to precious gems, sculptures, and paintings.
This is my birthstone topaz.
Kids. Occasionally we find ourselves enviously observing those carefree cruising couples who are out on their own, only needing to worry about themselves. While I want to relish the time with the kids 24/7 before they grow up, and heck, they've grown up so much already since we've started, I still want enough time for my own interests and projects. Finding the time to both school, do chores and repairs, and somehow trying to make our travels educational and fun is no easy task. Sailing would be so much easier without the responsibilities that come along with raising kids at the same time. On the other hand though, there's no doubt that our children have enhanced our adventures as we get to see the world from their perspective, exploring new places and experiences together.
What do you think of this one?
I love one.
What do you like about it?
The deer, the waterfall, the water, and the sky, and the mountains, and the trees. I think it's pretty cool. Must have took maybe like a year to make.
Being able to give our kids this experience is also such a privilege, even though they may not appreciate it until years down the road. On that note though, the kids have been great and transitioned onto Happy Seas without missing a beat. Yes, they have their fights and often ask about their friends back home, but more often than not, they just let their imaginations run wild and play very well with each other. We've been trying to teach them how to meet other children and make friends, which brings us to another surprising thing about cruising. There wasn't a plethora of kid boats as we had envisioned. It wasn't until the southern Exumas that we had found boats with similar-aged kids traveling at a similar pace in the same direction that we finally had a cruising group together.
You order everything.
Smoked salmon with broccoli and applesauce.
Delicious.
I got applesauce, mashed potatoes, and salmon.
Our time in Washington, D.C. coincided with our 13th wedding anniversary, and we took full advantage of the D.C. culinary scene. We also enjoyed July 4th celebrations that took place on Constitutional Avenue in front of the U.S. Capitol and the grand finale fireworks at the National Mall. Note for next time, you don't need to arrive 4 hours before the show to secure a good spot on the lawn.
Washington Monument, July 4th. Happy Independence Day.
What do you think of Washington?
I really quite like this city, Everett.
Me too. It has a lot of things to do. I think tonight is going to be a highlight because there's going to be fireworks. What would you rate Washington?
It's probably 9 out of 10. It's pretty nice. How about you?
Well, I'd rate it a 4.5 out of 5.
Ooh, very nice.
Not as easy.
It's not as easy as it looks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, you make it look easy.
What'd you get into?
Fly monster! Aiden got into it. I got one in New Hail.
Oh. Alright, can I see? What is this stuff?
Yeah, there you go. It's got all yours. Oh, you got it.
Our cousins lived in Virginia, and it was heartwarming to see them doing well since our last visit here about 6 years ago when we attended our first Annapolis boat show. Look how everyone's grown up. The kids hit it off right away, and we caught up with each other at their house over the weekend. It was a laid-back visit as the kids played in the backyard and visited the Children's Museum in Baltimore.
Spray Everett. What? Show me. Thumbs up? Oh, you got them. Oh, you got it.
I know it.
Just like.
Maine is a small picturesque state with a big cruising reputation, and while it was too far north for us to bring Happy Seas this time, we made a spur-of-the-moment decision to fly in for a visit anyways.
There we go. That's how you wash your feet.
We were ecstatic to be reunited with our cruising friends from Avatrice, who took us in for the week and made us part of the family, immersing us in all the richness of Maine life and culture.
Did you find any good stuff over there?
No, but that's now called Kid Island.
We explored their backyard collecting oysters and catching fireflies.
Yeah.
Let's see this.
Oh, this is a plan.
Under the open sky, we delighted in an outdoor theater performance of Little Shop of Horrors. They were really good, and we were pleasantly surprised by the production quality.
If we fight it, we still got a chance. But whatever they offer you, throw their slop in the trough for you. Please, whatever they offer you.
Weston's birthday also fell on the week of our visit, and we got to enjoy games at the arcade bowling alley and meet the neighbors at his birthday party. Before leaving, our friends spoiled us with a riverside lobster dinner. Lobster fishermen next door, bibs, crackers, picnic tables. It was quintessential Maine.
They taxed our paper and ink. They even taxed our playing cards and dice.
Oh, and I was right. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Sorry, I missed all of this entire time. They clearly want to keep me offloaded.
3! Hand transport the goods coming out of Nantucket. This industry is owned by the Roach family at this time.
Tis loose leaf tea, but is so densely packed, and some of it upwards of 4 years old, it's mostly stale.
Huzzah!
Before we knew it, it was time to get back to Happy Seas, but not before a stop in Salem and Boston to soak up as much American history as we could cram in.
Huzzah!
Okay, 3-week break away from the boat. Now we're heading back to Norfolk, and tomorrow we're going to have to move the boat up to Matthews to Zimmerman's. Right, Shannon? Did you see that name? This was the longest time that we had left Happy Seas by herself. Even though she was in a marina and we had some friends check in on her, I still worry about coming back to find her half sunk, infested with mold, or all the electronics had shorted out. But there she sat just as we left her, patiently waiting for us to return. Does this anxiety ever go away?
It is like a sauna. You know, it smells new, that newish smell.
Yeah, it does smell like the glue. Fan still on? Just like we never left. Nice.
Holy, that's a lot. That's only 3 weeks.
I had the bilges open, see if those would dry out and not smell. Looks like this panel has come off in the heat. I did find an issue. There has to be something.
This Velcro wasn't doing anything. They forgot to take the masking tape off. This will probably help keep the panels up.
We took Happy Seas for one more cruise up to Mopjack Bay for the end of the season haul out for some warranty work and repairs.
We can take some good pictures too, Everett.
Today we're at Matthews getting ready to haul our boat out. And there's a lot of boats here that are actually already hauled out. So one of the boats here that we've seen in Georgetown is named Flash. It's right over there.
What are you doing tonight?
Today I'm taking pictures with Daddy. And he's teaching me how to do things on this camera he lent me. You're gonna be surprised about how much gunk there is on the bottom of the boat. All I saw was barnacles, algae, and gunk. That's it. No black paint. This is my favorite one. I like how it's striped, and then it kind of looks like my OC.
Looking back on this first season, we have learned so much, seen so many things, and have come such a long way individually and together as a family. We've cruised and explored some of the most beautiful waters in the world and met many warm-hearted, helpful cruisers, as well as welcoming and generous locals. We've definitely rocked the boat from the perspective of our previously comfortable life on land, facing hair-raising storms, boat challenges, and learning to live together in tight spaces. We didn't expect to, but we've met a good number of cruisers who had decided to pack it in early after one season, change course and try something else as sailing wasn't for them. Good for them. It seems like every other week we wonder if we should be selling the boat too. But for now, we've decided to keep going forward, excited to cruise the Chesapeake and Caribbean this upcoming season. Thank you for sharing this adventure with us.